grabbing a seat, we're going to be getting started. I'm just so thrilled to welcome you all back to be in person here today. This is such a special day for our community, for not just our graduates and all of you coming back, but as you can see, we're flanked by our students and what this means for our students to have you all here and cheering on our teams today, but also coming here to show and reinvest in the power of our athletics program and what that means for us. Today is a day for us to celebrate the proud tradition of Nobles athletics, but also to honor those teams and the extraordinary athletes that have come before us. As we think about our present and look to our future, often looking to the past and the role models and the legacies that allow us to do and be what we are today. There's perhaps nobody better who epitomizes the best of our athletics program than Nick Marinero, who we just spent some time honoring and celebrating. Nick understood the enduring power of relationships and the ways that we can invest in the lives of young people, not just in our classrooms, but on our courts, on our fields, the power of team, the power of mentorship. He knew that our students would be known and seen and pushed, challenged. He knew that it's through our athletics that we both succeed and we also pretty safely fail and dust ourselves off, pick ourselves up, and try again. Athletics were a pretty significant part of my own life in high school. And the coaches and the teams I was privileged enough to be a part of played a huge role in forging the way I live my life today. At Nobles, we cling pretty fiercely to the power of team and what that can mean for our students, not just on those fields and courts, but in how they develop as human beings, how they choose to live their lives in the decades that follow. Today we're going to celebrate the best of what Nobles athletics is all about. I'm proud to share the stage today with tremendous teams and simply extraordinary athletes, to celebrate the people, the coaches, the parents and guardians, all of those who invested in their success while they were here and in the many years that followed. I want to thank Steve Owen for serving as the chair of the committee, and I will now turn it over to Steve to kick things off today. Thank you so much for being here.
Dr. Hall, and my name is Steve Owen. I was class of '97, and I played football, hockey, and baseball here. And I think I say each time with this, my unique qualification for this role comes from my father, Steve, class of '66, having attended the most Nobles sporting events in the last 50 years. And that, I put an asterisk, or there's a pro forma to that, because that includes practices as well. So I've had a lot of boots on the ground primary research here in preparing for this role. Nobles Athletic Hall of Fame was established in 2010 to recognize those that have made the most significant contributions to the athletic programs at Nobles. Eligible are student athletes, teams, but also, and importantly, coaches. And while we don't have a coach in this year's class, we do have a number of them here today joining us in the audience. I just want to give a big round of applause and thanks to the coaches that we have. Dr. Hall and Alex Gallagher have spoken many times about the importance of the teacher-coach model at Nobles. And we've been very fortunate to have had many exceptional teacher-coach educators here in our community. To date, 7 of these coaches have been inducted into the Hall of Fame, recognizing their success in leading great teams on the field, courts, and rinks, but also for being great leaders, mentors, and Hall of Fame caliber educators to the student athletes on their teams. Included in this group is Coach Marinero, who was my football coach, geometry teacher, which did not go well, and was inducted in the class of 2013. I think most everyone in this room has a story about something they learned from or laughed about from Coach Marinero. He's a great example of the Hall of Fame leaders we are so lucky to have had in our community at Nobles over the years. He was a big man. And as those that were here earlier know, an even bigger personality. and he made a huge impact on so many of us, and will always be remembered. And I'm going a little bit off script here for a second, but I was just telling Alex, just with all, you know, we all have so many stories about Coach Marinaro, and you know, nicknames that he came up with for so many of us, and you know, just one, you know, that was just really, you know, really funny for us. You know, we had our 1993 you know, football team. We had 13 players. Ended up winning the ISL championship, because I think Anthony Ackle, who's around here somewhere, made every tackle. And you know, Top Gun was big at the time, and we all had call names, or we came up with call names, and Anthony had something good. And you know, I had something, you know, pretty good initially, and then Nick kind of came around and goes, no, you're Charlie. And if anyone remembers who Charlie was, that was, you know, the Kelly McGinnis character in Top Gun. And I was like, no, I want to be, you know, Maverick. You know, I think I look like Tom Cruise, and he's like, no, you're Charlie. And I was Charlie to him every day from that on. But anyways, he made such a big impact on my life, on so many of our lives, and you know, he will always be remembered. Over the 12 years of the Hall of Fame, there have been 52 student athletes, 7 teams, and 7 coaches honored. To be eligible, a contributor needs to have been out of Nobles for 10 years and be nominated by a fellow alum or faculty. And this can be done through the graduate section of the Nobles website, or by reaching out directly to Kate Brown or Alex Gallagher. The Hall of Fame committee consists of alums, current faculty, and coaches. It is then our job to debate and establish the class each year. On behalf of the Hall of Fame committee, we are very excited to present this year's class, consisting of Oliver White and Kevin Hayes, who are 2 of the most accomplished athletes in the history of their sports while here at Nobles, but also in their careers post-Nobles. Liz Sarles Diaz, who is one of my good friends and classmates in the class of 1997, in the 25th anniversary, or the 25th reunion class of '97, probably the most dominant female athlete of our era. And lastly, the 2002 girls hockey team, who started a run of dominance in that program that continues today. So more to come on each of the inductees in a few minutes. And with that, I'll turn things over to Kate Brown for introductions of the 2022 Hall of Fame class.
So one of my favorite things about the Hall of Fame ceremony is the inclusion of current students. So we have a long tradition of having current student athletes at Nobles help to induct our 2022 and 2021 class this year. So I'm going to start by inviting Nate Spock from the class of 2022 to induct Oliver White.
Oliver White from the class of 2012 was a 4-year starter for both varsity soccer and varsity baseball, and co-captained both teams. Oliver was an outstanding and well-respected athlete on the field, while combining his passion for sports and community service off the field. In 2010 and 2011, Oliver helped lead his team to ISL League Championships and was also named ISL Offensive Player of the Year and ISL First Team. His senior year, he was named to ESPN Rise's 40 Best New England High School Soccer Players. Soccer coach Steve Ginsberg reflects, a decade after his time on the soccer field, Oliver's legacy still lives on. His junior and senior seasons were our last ISL titles, and he was league MVP for both years. As important as his outstanding play was the model he set for other players. He worked hard, competed in everything, and made positive connections with his teammates in order to inspire them to lift their game to the next level. One of his greatest accomplishments was his senior year, when Oliver earned the 2012 Massachusetts Gatorade Soccer Player of the Year. This award recognizes not only outstanding excellence, athletic excellence, but also high standard of academic achievement, and exemplary character demonstrated on and off the field. During Oliver's senior year, he collaborated with the boys' varsity baseball team coaches to dedicate its season to raising awareness about the Wounded Warrior Project, an organization that provides services and support to injured U.S. service members and their families. Oliver worked hard with the athletics department beyond the baseball season to identify opportunities to bridge athletics and community service. After Nobles, Oliver went on to play soccer at Harvard and then professionally in Australia, North America, and Europe. He has since founded the Oliver White Foundation with a mission of spreading positivity and amplifying Black excellence as an avenue to raise awareness of racial injustice. Congratulations, Oliver.
From the class of 2022 on stage to induct Liz Sarles from the class of 97.
Liz Sarles from the class of 1997 was a phenomenal three-sport competitor in field hockey, skiing, and tennis, and set a high bar for the athletes of her time on the field, the slopes, and the court. As senior tri-captain, Liz played a varsity sport at Nobles for 11 of the 12 seasons she was in the upper school, and was one of the 2 recipients of the Shield Award for the most respected athlete of her class. It should be noted that the one season she didn't compete at the varsity level was because there was no snow on the slopes her sophomore year. When Liz came to Nobles, tennis was her main sport. She played the #1 spot on the tennis team for all 4 years and was an all-league selection all 4 seasons. However, she came to adore field hockey under Coach Morris Sullivan. Liz was a 3-time all-league player, receiving honorable mention her freshman year. As a senior captain, she led the team to a New England championship, which was the first for the team. Coach Morris Sullivan remembers Liz as a tremendous athlete. She was playing at the top level in an era where specialization in sports was not a thing. Liz just played whatever sport was in season. She was an excellent tennis player and likely played more of that sport than any other, but she didn't give up other things to pursue tennis full-time. She was the type of athlete who was able to walk onto a field or court and just pick up whatever sport was being played. She was a smart athlete and a fierce competitor, whatever the sport. This was evident when, during college, Liz played a season of lacrosse, having never played before, a testament to her athleticism and coordination. Liz also captained the ski team her senior year, receiving all-league recognition. She skied in the #1 spot her junior and senior years. The team, which had been undefeated the year before, was second in the ISL, placing first in the Blue Hills Challenge Cup. After Nobles, Liz went on to play field hockey at Harvard for 4 years, receiving academic All-Ivy recognition her senior year as captain. She also led the team to its first NCAA berth in 10 years. Liz currently teaches history, and she continues to coach various field hockey and lacrosse teams. Congratulations, Liz.
Next up, to introduce the 2002 girls hockey team is Sophie Ensley of the class of 2022. All right, thanks.
The 2002 girls hockey team won every game it played in the 2001 to 2002 season. This unbeaten, untied team also included multiple Olympians, coached by Tom Razor, Catherine Bayless, and Kevin Duggan, and assisted by Molly Driscoll-Santry, class of 91. The squad won the first ever New England Championship for girls hockey at Nobles. For the seniors on the team, led by Captain Sarah Courtney, Robin McNamara, and Karen Thatcher, This was their third consecutive undefeated season, their third consecutive ISL championship title, and their second consecutive Harrington Holiday Tournament championship. Coming off a highly successful 22-1-0 season that ended with a loss, the NEPSAC semifinals, the 2002 hockey team was determined and confident going into its season. Playing an expanded and more competitive schedule, finishing 27-0, the only Nobles girls hockey team to go undefeated and untied in the season, and winning the Harrington, ISL, and NEPSAC titles. The team outscored its opponents 144-20, but still had to play several close games, including a 4-game stretch on the road in January. Coach Tom Rizzo reflects, "I think those games gave us the confidence that we could do well in the next NEPSAC tournament, which requires playing 3 games in 5 days to reach the finals." After closing out the regular season with a 4-0 victory over Milton to clinch the ISL title, we defeated Deerfield 4-1, Taft 2-1, and Berkshire 3-1 to win the NEPSAC tournament. The team had several standout players, including 3 future Olympians, Karen Thatcher, Helen Resor, and Sarah Parsons. Thatcher, 45 goals and 43 assists for 88 points, and Parsons, 39 goals and 39 assists for 78 points, were the leading scorers. Kristen Blundo, 39 points in 13 games because of an injury, and Sarah Courtney, 35 points, were the other leading scoring forwards. And Helen Resor, 29 points, and Nina Resor, 28 points, contributed a lot of offense as defenders. In goal, Christine Moynihan played almost all the minutes and had 12 shutouts. The team had a lot of depth and produced 8 Division I college players and 4 Division III college players. Like many Nobles teams over the years, almost every player played multiple sports. The team represents a turning point in the legacy of Nobles girls ice hockey. Congratulations on your induction to the Hall of Fame.
Lastly, I would now like to call up Roman Tiselli from the class of 2002 on the stage to help introduce Kevin Hayes.
Kevin Hayes from the class of 2011 spent 3 years playing hockey at Nobles, and he has been widely recognized as one of the most impactful players in Nobles hockey history. Kevin finished the 2008-2009 season tied with teammate Bill Arnold with 55 points, accumulating 28 goals and 27 assists in just 29 games. During the following season, he scored 25 goals and had 44 assists and was named Prep Player of the Year and earned all New England East honors as a forward. Kevin also played for the United States U18 team that competed at the Ivan Holinka Cup tournament in Czech Republic and Slovakia in August of 2009, where he led the team with 2 goals in 3 games. Kevin stood out from other players with his incredible skill, creativity, and hockey sense. Head coach Brian Day said, He was able to see the situation and make something out of it. His awareness is like nothing I've ever seen. And we've had a lot of good players here. But Kevin is just at a different level that way. Kevin also played baseball for the Bulldogs. After Nobles, Kevin was selected by the Chicago Blackhawks in the first round of the 2010 NHL entry draft. He chose to defer his professional career to play at Boston College, where he won a national championship in 2012. After overcoming a serious injury his junior year, Kevin earned the team's Most Improved Player award, became the first Eagle to score 5 points in a game since 2007, and he finished his senior season a top 50 scorer in Boston College history. In addition, he earned All Hockey East first team honors, was voted a New England Men's Division I All-Star, and was selected to the American Hockey Coaches Association All-America First Team. Finally, Kevin was tabbed a Hobie Baker Memorial Top 10 finalist. After graduating from BC, Kevin signed with the New York Rangers as a free agent and played for them from 2014 to 2019 before he finished up the 2018-2019 season with the Winnipeg Jets. In 2019, he joined the Philadelphia Flyers and has just completed his 3rd season with the team. We are absolutely honored to induct him as a 2021 Hall of Fame inductee. Congratulations, Kevin.
I want to begin my remarks with an exciting and nice announcement. Years ago, Nobles grad and former trustee Mike Vance spoke to the student body during a morning assembly. At the end of his remarks, he laid out a challenge for the community. He said to the students, "I know that all of you will graduate from this school and do good work, but will you do good?" Oliver White has lived up to that challenge in a myriad of ways. Today, in celebration of his induction to the Nobles Athletics Hall of Fame, I'm proud to announce that Oliver and his parents, Greg White and Allison Brown, have established the Oliver Tim White Class of 2012 Scholarship Fund. The scholarship will be for a black student athlete with a preference for a member of the Nobles soccer team. The recipient will mirror Oliver's deep commitment to being a true scholar athlete. Please join me in thanking Oliver and his parents for their generation and dedication to Nobles. Annually, these remarks allow me to spend some time dwelling on the history of this school, the legacy of Nobles athletics, and the road that lies ahead as we face evolving challenges in the world of youth, high school, and collegiate sports. We ask student athletes from Nobles to attend this ceremony because we believe it serves as a bridge from our past to the present and the future. It's a big ask, given all that they have on their plates, but it also underscores how important this ceremony is to our program and the school. The topic most on my mind this year is institutional memory. Many of us will gather on campus later today to celebrate the illustrious careers of Nick Nickerson, Bill Buzzy, and Ben Snyder. 3 leaders whose impact on every area of school life is immeasurable. Embodied in each of them are the values we hold so dear at Nobles: hard work, high character, kindness, excellence, and a commitment to putting the needs of the team before themselves. If my math is correct, we say goodbye to over 110 years of institutional memory as we say goodbye to these historical figures. We also say goodbye this year to Meg Jacobs at the tail end of a 20-year Nobles career. Meg received the Resort Coaching Excellence Prize in 2013, and I believe she leaves a legacy at Nobles as one of the best coaches this school has ever seen. We live in a day and age where sports specialization has a dramatic impact on sub-varsity sports, but we're blessed to have coaches like Meg who work tirelessly to give every student athlete, no matter what their skill set looks like, a positive and loving experience that challenges them to get the best out of themselves. That is why we ask our student athletes and coaches to join us today. They need to hear the stories, listen to the values, understand the legacy, and pick up the metaphorical baton to become the next generation's storytellers. With that in mind, I want to share the story of a towering figure whose spirit and love are most definitely in the room with us today. My daughter Maya, which will make a lot of young grads in this room feel old, turned 22 years old on Thursday. She was raised on this campus and benefited from the mentorship of some fantastic young people when we lived in Wiggins Hall. When she was 4 or 5 years old, if you asked her who her best friend was, the answer was simple. It was Jimmy Hayes. Jimmy was a huge part of our dorm family before he left to join the national team program. He did for Maya what essentially did for everyone he met. He made her feel like she was the most important person in his world. That was Jimmy's superpower. That was Jimmy's superpower. You always felt like he had time for you. You always had time to listen, time to laugh, time to play, and time to connect. Even at 15 or 16 years old, Jimmy knew what mattered: family, friends, and treating everyone who crosses your path with respect. One day, Maya was playing hockey in the hallway of Wiggins with Jimmy, and I was around the corner in my office. At one point, Maya scored a goal and did an epic celly that I think she mimicked from something she had seen on SportsCenter earlier that day. Jimmy complimented her celebration, but said, "Don't forget that you have to find the teammate that set you up for the goal after the celebration. You're nothing without your teammates, Maya. Never forget that." I have a lot to thank Jimmy for, but I'm most grateful for his impact on my oldest daughter. Since Jimmy passed away, I've worn one of the bracelets made to honor his legacy. One side of the bracelet challenges us to be like Jimmy, and the other has the following words: funny, loving, kind, inclusive, humble, and loyal. The gift of Nobles Athletics lies in the values held by people like Snyder, Buzzy, Nickerson, Jacobs, and Jimmy Hayes. This ceremony and these inductees represent all that is great about our school. Some think that the legacy of our program is about the championships we win. The people who feel that way could not be more wrong. It is about the relationships student-athletes build on our teams under the watchful eye of the transformational leaders who coach them. We have some remarkable individuals who are ready to carry the torch as we move forward, and I hope that those here today will walk away with this simple message: be funny, be loving, be kind, be inclusive, be humble, be loyal, be like Jimmy. Thank you for being with us today, sharing this ceremony, and we hope you enjoy very much the rest of your reunion weekend. Thank you so much.